Hi, we've been working with many chocolatiers now for many years and supplying a lot of the wholesalers with our airbrushes and compressors. And we just want to do some videos just explaining the type of airbrushes that we use or chocolatiers are using when spraying cocoa butter. So I'll start off with one of the first ones that we started to use with cocoa butter, and this is actually one of the Harder and Steenbeck airbrushes, and it's the XL2000. Now this has a little side colour cup which fits onto the side of the brush there, and as you can see we can angle that so we can have it up like that or like that, so it's just a matter of tightening that up there. So the beauty of these airbrushes are, so we can put the cocoa butter into the cup there. It's all steel, so there's no problem with contaminations and everything else there from any glass that can be used as in bottles and things like that. So this is what's called a double action airbrush, which means you press down for air and then pull back for colour. And I will show you in some of the later videos that we're doing on these, because I'm going to do a tips and how-tos if things go wrong. I say there's certain things that can happen with an airbrush and they're very simple to fix. So I'll show you how you go through that and little quick things that you can learn quite easily to get back up and running. So that's the first one. That's the XL2000. Again, a very popular airbrush with chocolatiers for spraying cocoa butter. So I'll just put that to one side. The next brush, again, has become more popular just recently, and we are actually supplying a lot of these to chocolatiers. This is the Kalani airbrush, which is again from Harder and Steenbeck, so the quality is absolutely brilliant. Now this was originally designed with this ergonomic design for people with arthritic hands, so it was nice and comfortable to fit into the hand. So let me just show you how we set this up first. So the colour cup fits on the top like so, and again the lid just pops off. So this is slightly different in the way it works. So when we pull back on this trigger, this starts with air coming out first, and as we pull back, I'll show you from this side, you'll see the needle starts to pull back, and that creates a larger hole at the front here and spray comes through. Again, I'll show you in some later videos how this all works and tips and ideas and how-tos, what if this goes, this happens, and so on and so forth. So you'll never be able to have a problem with it or anything like that. I mean, we are always available on the phone as well if you need any advice. So, and just a quick one here, we always supply this brush with what's called a quick release fitting. Now this end goes onto your airline, this end just clicks onto the bottom of your brush like so. There's no other way you can actually attach an airline to that, so do make sure, like I say, we always supply these guns with that, so you can always use it. It does have a few extra features on here. This handle at the back here can be pulled off, and if you have larger hands, you can actually just slide that spacer on there. What this means is, when you're actually using your brush, your hand is just a bit further back, so it could be a bit more comfortable to work with. So for people with slightly larger hands, it's much easier. You can also change this round. This is set for a right-handed person. It comes with the various tools to be able to do this. All you need to do is undo that there and that bolt there on the other side, which I'll show you. That then comes out and you can turn that round so the lever is on the other side, so it can be used for left-handed people as well. So that is the Kalani airbrush, again from Harder and Steenbeck, very popular. It's a 0.8mm nozzle, so you actually can get quite a lot of cocoa butter out of this when you're spraying, so very popular. I'll put that to one side. The next airbrush or spray gun, which I'm going to explain, is the one called a GP850. Again, this is made by Sparmax, but is actually distributed by Harder and Steenbeck. So again, a quality product. I'll just take this out of the packaging so you can actually see what this comes with. So you again have a large colour cup here, so that will just screw onto the top there. And again, made out of plastic, so again, no problems with contaminations or anything like that. That simply just screws off the top there. I generally work without the cap on because if you're spraying, there's very little chance of the cocoa butter coming out there. So how does this work? Again, you attach to the bottom here your airline, so you attach to your compressor. And this has a more like a gun really, a trigger. So if you pull halfway, that's the air. If you pull more, it starts to pull the needle back, and again, cocoa butter will come out. So I'll just show you what I mean. So if I take the barrel off here, you'll see the needle there at the back. And as I pull, just to get the air there, as you pull further, you'll see the needle coming back. This is one of the major problems people have. They realize they haven't tightened up this little nut here. And what they do is they get it all set up and they do that, and you'll see it's not pulling the needle back. No cocoa butter will ever come out of there. So just make sure when you take the needle out to tighten that up so it's nice and tight, and then when you pull the trigger back, it pulls the needle back there. So again, a great spray gun from, hard to say, distributed by Harder and Steenbeck. This also has a little restrictor on the back, which I wouldn't recommend really using. It's only if you want to spray a certain amount. So this will stop the trigger coming back a certain way. We have had people where they've received that, it's been pulled straight in and the lever won't pull back. So just be wary when you get that. What it does, it stops the needle being pulled back too far inside that barrel. So keep that open like so. You will also notice with this, it comes with a little bit of another nozzle, a little spanner, and also a tailpiece there. Don't worry about that. That is designed for if you had just a clear airline, you could put that on there and then you could just push your airline onto that. So generally we always supply our airlines with our compressors and they have the right fitting on there for your spray gun. So this here is actually a different spray pattern. This is actually, the one that comes with is actually called a fan spray. So that is actually a fan. You'll see how that works. It's got two little notches on the side there. And this one here is a round spray. It just comes straight out. So when you're spraying, you'll get a totally different spray pattern with the round spray almost comes out in a cone, whereas the fan spray comes out, as it would suggest, in a fan. So depending on what type of work you're doing, depends on what type of nozzle you want on there, nozzle cap you want on there. I generally, for cocoa butter, use the fan because you're wanting to get as much of the cocoa butter actually in the molds when you're spraying, so you get a better coverage, which makes perfect sense. So those are the 3 airbrushes we supply and recommend for spraying cocoa butter. I will go into more detail of little how-tos and tricks and everything else when you're using it in later videos. But if you need any more information, by all means contact us via email or give us a call on our main number.